Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader. I have a message for Leo today. I have asked my guides in spirit to bring a message through the cards that's deeply inspirational and uplifting for you this week as you navigate your spiritual journey. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I'm really glad that you're here. I strongly invite you to subscribe so that you can stay and benefit in contact from being in contact with high vibration information from the other side every week. And if you're returning to the channel, I am super grateful for your presence and your energy. And before we get into your reading, I do want to mention that I'm offering something really special for this time of year, for the solstice and the new year. They are special personal solstice readings, which will really help to empower you with the knowledge to have an awesome 2020. This is all sorts of information about your karmic past, where you are in terms of your soul development, what is working for you, what isn't. Really, really awesome stuff. So if you're interested or you know someone who would benefit, please check out trueguidancetarot.com, or there's a direct link in the description below. Your reading, Leo. So it took an interesting turn when I was looking at these cards beforehand. I'm going to show you these two together. Usually this is the energy of the universe and this is the way that you respond, but they're talking to me together. You are blindsided by something this week. A truth kind of comes out of nowhere, or a revelation comes out of nowhere, and it really shakes you. That's this tower here. And you didn't see it coming, is the thing. You just weren't expecting it, but it's kind of like this big, like, whoa. You're hit with something enormous, and you suddenly realize that you can't go back to the old way of being or the old way of thinking anymore. So this is a big, big moment for you in time. This is a big aha, and this is definitely a big chance to shift. All right, so if you've been looking for that moment of shift, if you've been kind of stuck in some old stuff wanting to go forward, this week really gives you something to work with. There's a stormy nature to this card and it looks traumatic, but what's interesting is that the water is very flat and it almost looks engineered. It's a strange word, but it's almost like the universe and your soul have conspired to engineer this moment to wake you up, to say, hey, look at this new truth for you. Now, but the next cards are really fascinating. We have the Four of Cups on one side, the King of Wands in the middle, and the Four of Pentacles. Now, I feel with this card, we're talking about a Pandora's box. And there's something visually kind of spatially odd about all of this empty space right here. And I did ask for a clarifying card on what this Four of Pentacles means, because you've got two fours on either side of Mr. King of Wands here. They gave me the Queen of Cups. And what this says to me, that this is a long, buried, intuitive sense. So you may be feeling instinctual and intuitive in your day-to-day, but this tower moment for you is going to ramp up that and unleash. Unleash is really the word I love. It's going to unleash your intuitive powers to another level. It's going to give you a different knowing, but for some reason, these intuitive powers were shut down in the past to the point of being apathetic about them. There's this Four of Wands here. So whether it was conditioning from your childhood or just getting too busy and not having enough time to hear the little voice that speaks inside of you, there's some kind of upgrade that has been prompted by this seemingly traumatic moment here that's strengthening and almost kind of jolts you up to that next level of intuition. But it involves opening a Pandora's box. Now, Pandora in the myth, Pandora is... She opens this box and all of the sins are released into the world. So the box is holding something which you think is a little bit ugly, which is a little bit distasteful to you. And again, when you're told as a child, not to listen to that voice, or that following that truth of yourself is somehow in conflict with the world around you, you tend to take that personally. And you maybe label it as something that's negative or bad, and so you lock it away. So many readers and intuitives and people who were um, seers and healers in the past, in past lives even, they lock that part of themselves away because they're afraid of what they're going to see, or they're afraid of how other people are going to react. And so this moment is an unlocking, and there's all this space of when this was out of your life, there was almost an emptiness in you that you didn't necessarily realize you were checked out about, but you didn't realize. The thing is though, opening this box, getting that energy out, is key to the next step of the King of Wands. This is a really good card for you to show up at this time, because it says that whatever is coming out of that box, whatever came out of this revelation, gives you the power and the momentum to know how to move forward. Knowing and intuition are really strong words for you this week. King of Wands is that very outward looking, extroverted energy that looks outside for opportunities. And I feel like with this card, he's just like waiting. He's waiting to pounce. He's a coiled spring, and he's waiting to push his energy forward into a direction that's going to be very good for him. This also has the potential to open up new creative directions that you had not thought of before. When you shut this part, I didn't show you this card. This is what was clarifying this one. So she clarifies him. When you open up this part of yourself, when you open up this new amount of your higher self coming in, there is so much more creativity available to you. And there's also the courage to follow those creative impulses. So this, even though it was crazy to go through that moment in time when you were shaken a little bit, it's going to give you so much more power and so much more belief in yourself, so that you can really move forward and seize that opportunity, seize that perfect moment in time that has unveiled itself for you. It's really important that you start aligning yourself with that. So you start to anticipate something is going to be coming my way. Something is going to be working out for me. There's going to be a new creative endeavor. I'm emphasizing that because you've conditioned yourself to turn this fire energy off a little bit. That self that got locked away, that part of that extra little part of yourself that got locked away, you've tuned yourself not to feel too committed to it, and kind of either way. It dampens down, because water and fire aren't always great together. When you pour water on a fire, that's kind of what happened. You literally like poured out your own light. You poured water on your own fire. And so it's that the creative spark can't go anywhere. You may get an inspiration, but then you may think, oh, it's too difficult. Or, oh, I really want to do this. I've always wanted to do this. Yeah, but I can't right now. I don't have enough money. Or I really want to do this. Yeah, but what will other people think of me? So it's almost like, how kids are so excited and they've got a million ideas, and they just need to get those ideas out there. They're not actually thinking of realizing all of them. Like, oh, mommy, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to do this, or I want to save the world, or they're just wanting to get that idea out because they're so excited to create. The last thing they need is for an adult to say, well, that's not really practical. They're just not even at that stage, but you've been that adult for yourself. Well, that's not really possible. That's not really practical. And that impulse just dies. But he's reawakened through this whole process. You get that energy back. And not only do you get it back in your adult self, which is so much more powerful and more knowing than the child self. So those thoughts that you had, or those excited creative impulses, now you know what to do with. Now you know how to make them happen in the world. I have to say that when you allow this box to open up, there may be a moment of discomfort, because this box, having been locked away and essentially repressed for such a long time, there may be just a space where it's a little bit like, eh. So I think this space is also saying, allow yourself some space. Allow yourself some space to feel off. Allow yourself some space to feel sad if you feel like you have to mourn all that time where you didn't have that self with you. That's fine. If you feel a little bit irritable or just standoffish, give yourself that space. Tell everyone else in your immediate vicinity that you just need a little space. It's all right to feel a little bit off, because you have to recalibrate yourself so that you can fully stand behind this energy and shoot your brave arrow forward into what you want. He's so strong, and he's also very protected. There's an enormous shield. So where you were unprotected as a child or as a more vulnerable version of yourself, you are now stronger and protected. So awesome stuff, Leo. And as you know, I always love to hear from you. So if you feel like reaching out, that's great. And once again, I invite you to check out trueguidancetarot.com if that's something that interests you, or perhaps someone who would be interested. I'd appreciate your passing on the info. So I look forward to seeing you next week, and have a great one.